Okay, so what is step number 3 in creating an exponential organization? Hey, I'm John Harris and welcome to another episode of Exponential Radio. We're talking about how to go about building your own exponential organization. There's a number of steps. We covered the first one, or the first couple, creating your massively transformative purpose, looking to build a community, and now it's the all-important question of building a team. And this is a tough one. It's very important to get the right people and those that are going to actually help you move forward. A lot of times we get people because they happen to come on board and these things, or they circumstantially are available, and this is not a good thing, but we all do it, right? So what we need to look at is you need to get people that perhaps from your prospects or those around you, the groups you're with, the people you're mixing with, start somewhere there perhaps, and you need people that are going to be aligned with your MTP. That is the first thing. The second thing is they must be to the level that they will share that MTP. They're enthused enough about it to actually share it. Okay. Next is they're going to be able to understand it in a way that they're willing to work to build that thing out, and with that important. So there has to be that alignment that's absolutely important, and there has to be that deeper resonance with them, understanding philosophy that they will push through, because when times get tough, a lot of times enthusiasm wanes, and you need to have a purpose-driven business in order to continue, and people have to buy into that. Choosing your members is pretty critical, and you're looking for a couple of things. You're looking obviously for the right type of character. In that the mindset must be there, because we never really fully appreciate how important mindset is until we get into something that's difficult, and then all of a sudden we find that we're a bit wanting, because that mindset won't push through. You've got to have the right mindset, one that's willing to do something until it's done. Then you need certain skill sets. Obviously certain people need to come in with certain skill sets in order to make the thing happen, and experiences. It's very important, you maybe you don't always have the exact qualifications, but you have certain experiences that are very, very important. So those are some of the things you need to look at. Just looking at my notes here, so they need to be aligned with your MTP. They need to connect in a way that you can understand. You come together with a character, and things like when you talk about character, you're really talking about values. And values, I've had an episode before on the podcast discussing values is a very critical part of working with people. They need to be people that are willing to get things done. They're willing to be positive. I mean, how many people do you know around you within your organization that are negative? Negative on a lot of things. Look, I'm not always that positive on politics, but let's just say you need to be able to have a positive outlook, okay? Because those negative people, that negative situation can really disrupt an organization. Obviously, you need the right mindset, and that complementary. We're going to talk about a skill set that needs to be complementary. Needs to be something that fits in with. You don't want all to have the same skill set. Obviously, you want to have different complementary skill sets, and as previous experiences I mentioned will be important. So let's just start up. For example, if you have experience in a startup, but let's just think about some of the things like. Bringing on the different roles that people will play. So if you have a person in a position, what roles would you look at to start with? Because when we start, a lot of times we don't know really what we're looking for and how to go about this, especially with an exponential organization. It's different to your normal brick and mortar. So you're going to need a visionary, obviously somebody who's developed that MTP, who has that driving force, that has that creativity, has that vision. So has that massively transformative purpose, and is committed to it, has skin in the game, is fully committed to it, and is a good communicator, can get that vision across. Other role you're going to need is a business developer, especially stroke sales. If you don't start out, you may not have a person in sales as well. You may not be able to do that. So as you start up, you might need somebody as part of that development process, getting money in from funders, investors, and from customers. As I say, they can also be part of actually doing a lot of the selling, and they can also be done by the visionary. So So if the developer's too focused, the visionary between them, they can actually work hard on getting the sales initially. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need technical support. A technical person is somebody who can, obviously, software development, has experience in that, can do the job, can translate ideas into a bigger vision and make them come real. So that that user experience, you may want that person to do that, or you may need another person on to help with the user experience. Some of the specific eye on customer journey, so it can be jointly or by one or the other. The next thing you want to look at is finance, and this is obviously cannot be understated. You got to keep some eye on revenue and costs. Also can help with legalities, with accounting, with taxes, etc. So the process you're looking at, really just understand when you do a startup specifically. Normally you have delivery, you have something that's already designed. People are in a job, in a business, in a company that has its systems in place. They may look on improving some of that, but that's where they're within a framework. Here you're going to be with a discovery approach. So what's going to happen here is you're going to be much more involved with actually a lot of changes, a lot of exciting new ideas. So a lot of times people will start out with a digital product, even a platform, and it will change direction depending on the feedback they get with their minimal viable product. They may get a lot of feedback saying, no, look, we prefer the customer, this is the people out there, the community want this, or they want that, or they want the other. So a lot of times these things actually change, and you need to be able to reiterate very quickly, and you need to be able to do that. So those roles are very important. In that discovery process, you need to be open to uncertainty, and some people can't handle that. So just remember, when you have a partner or partnerships, you need to be able to handle uncertainty and ambiguities. Nothing is going to be laid out on a tray and be very organized. Sometimes it's often very chaotic. And the other thing is, so they're going to be self-starters and willing to learn and adapt and make things happen, solve problems. Something else to keep your mind on if you're starting out with a smaller setup, there are a lot of impact on generative AI, especially the tools and the agents that are now coming out. So these agents, there's some of the games, I believe one of the major games, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but one of the major games has been released, got now 1,000 bots working in there, 1,000 agents, okay? So it's unbelievable how fast it's changing. And you may want to have a founder and create those roles I've spoken about, and 4 agents doing that. So you'll see this is going to become more and more commonplace to have these kind of agents working with you and taking on roles and fulfilling certain obligations. So it's pretty exciting. And again, it means that you could have a single person running $1 trillion company down the line. So it's probably going to happen. Anyway, that's a little bit about it. You can always get back episodes at johnarthurharris.blogspot.com, and we will see you in the next one.